Hi guys, so today basically I am going to be making this table in Blender. Right, so the first thing I do is I'm just going to create a new file so we can basically start afresh. And as you can see, we start with this cube, but we do not need this cube. So we're just going to press X on our keyboard and we're going to have this deleted. After that, we're going to go into mesh and add a plane, and I'm just going to be resizing this to be a little bit bigger just because this is going to be the top of our table. And now I'm going to be adding a modifier, and the modifier that I am going to be adding is the subdivision surface modifier. We're just going to play around with the levels. So I went with the highest, I went with 11 and I rendered it to 1, and that should just give sort of like a circular shape. And after that we're going to apply the modifier, otherwise it's not going to work, so we definitely need to make sure we apply it. And that is just top our table. And now we're going to be adding another modifier, which is going to be solidify, sorry. And I'm just going to be playing around, so I'm just going to increase it. So in this case I increased it to 0.03 to give it some thickness. I still think that's a little bit thin. So I made it a little bit higher, as you can see in this case, to just add some more thickness to the table. And there we go, we just apply that modifier again. And that's basically the top of our table done. Now I'm also just going to be adding a cylinder. I'm just going to move that about so it's not like inside the top of the table. And we're going to have to like resize this. So we're going to have to make this like much more thinner. It's basically going to be the leg of our table. So as you can see, I extend it and make it a bit thinner, just so it's, and I don't want it to be too thin as well, because it needs to be able to carry the weight of the top of the table. So yeah, we basically, all we do is just kind of, we play around with it till we get it perfect. And I'm going to also just shade it smooth as well, as you can see over there. Now the final step is to make the base of the tables. As you can see, I got another mesh, a plane, and I just moved that to the bottom. And now I'm also just adding another modifier. So this time I'm also just adding solidify again. And again, we just play around with it till we get like the perfect thickness. So in this case, I mean, obviously you can just see I'm playing around with it till I get something that's not too thick. And after I'm done, I just apply that. And now, as you can see, I'm just going into edit mode. I'm selecting faces at the top, and I'm just selecting the top face, and I'm just going to press S on the keyboard, just scale, just to make that a bit smaller, to make the top of the face smaller. Now, as you can see, I'm going back into object mode, so, and I'm adding another modifier, and in this case I'm adding bevel, and I just play around with it again. Oh, I think that was a bit too much, so I'm gonna just lower the amount of segments. Again, it's just playing around till we get the perfect, sort of the perfect amount that we want. And this just made it a bit more smoother, a bit more curved. I apply that once I like the way it looks, and now all I need to do is just move this into position so it's sort of perfectly aligned to be the base. So as you can see, I'm still just sort of trying to make sure that it is perfectly aligned and like perfectly in the center. I think that is just about right. And there you go, guys. That is basically a simple table in Blender. That's not too difficult. But yeah, that's it.